Hey guys, Guapo Goku here, and I'm making this video to answer a question I've been asked a few times recently, and that is, what is best in slot for Warlocks in Season 2? So, this is my best in slot sheet right here. First and foremost, I think people are wondering, should I run the two set bonuses, or do I run the 4-set bonus from the Dreadweave? I encourage you to run the 4-set bonus. It's easier faking interrupts with a faster fear, and number 2, it's important to fear inside the windows of opportunity you get in Arena. So I'd value that much more than 35 Resil and the little bit of extra spell crit you're going to see that doesn't really benefit you anyways. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about here is your off pieces. You can actually start Season 2 with every single off piece you'll need on day 1 with just 78,094 honor and the required marks for each piece. However, the catch is the honor cap is 75k. So if you want to purchase every single off piece on day 1 without stepping into a battleground, you'll need an extra 10 marks from each battleground, so you can turn in the 4-grade honor quest 10 times. Each turn in rewards 314 honor, so you'll need 10 extra tokens of each battleground to make up for that extra 3k honor you won't have. So if you want to immediately purchase all of the best in slot off pieces on day 1, then we're talking about you getting 78,094 honor. And the total amount of marks you'll need is 60 Eye of the Storm, 50 Wrathy Basin, and 30 Warsong, and 20 Elterac Valley. Now, if you're not purchasing all of your pieces on day 1, I'd recommend purchasing them in this order here. If you already have the off pieces from Season 1. If you don't, you'll just need to purchase whatever is the best upgrade for you personally. I'll leave a link to this Excel sheet in the description here. If you're not planning to purchase everything on day 1, don't sweat it. Just do your PvP daily and try to do some BGs on the weekend while it's double honor. Now, trinkets. If you don't already have a PvP trinket, you absolutely need to purchase this first. There's no real debate there. Anyways, so a lot of us are looking forward to the Voidstar Talisman. This trinket is going to give you a passive 48 spell power, and it'll increase your pet's resistance by 130, which is huge. So just to give you an example here, let's say you're playing Warlock, or against Warlock Druid, or WLD in 3s. Let's say they're trying to banish your pet to do 20% more damage to you while your soul link is off you temporarily. Or they're trying to banish your pet to keep you from dispelling fears, or so be it. Well, now your pet has so much more of a chance to resist that, and the 130 resistance is just going to make your pet so much tankier against spellcasters. You'll immediately feel it. The Voidstar Talisman is from Tempest Keep, and Wowhead says it has a 33% chance to drop. So expect to see a ton of Warlocks with this. If you can't manage to get your hands on one, then you'll want to grab an icon of Silver Crescent, which you can purchase for 41 Badges of Justice in chat. Now, I'm going to be keeping both of these trinkets in my bags personally all season, because if we're versing a Turbo Cleave in 3s, and I'm not gaining any benefit from my pet having extra spell resistance, and I'm not versing any teams that are, banishing my pet or trying to kill my pet with spells, then I'll probably risk it for the biscuit and just run this on-use trinket here for the added damage. Helmets. So let's talk about your helmet. I think this is a big question here. We're all sort of wondering is how good are the engineering goggles? Now, I'll be queuing with these personally a majority of the time in Phase 2 until I get my Merciless Gladiator helmet. Now, let me explain here. I currently have the Gladiator Dreadweave hood, so I'll be using the goggles most of the time unless we're versing a team that is consistently targeting me, and my healer thinks I'd benefit more from the Resil than I would the spell power and stealth detection. So day 1 I'll be equipping these goggles, and I'm basically trading 30 Resil for 38 and 38 stamina to gain 37 spell power and 29 crit, which the crit isn't that beneficial like I said before, but you're also gaining the extra stealth detection from the goggles. So personally, I think the added stealth detection from the goggles with the paranoia will be very nice, but won't be that huge. I'm mainly doing it for the spell power bonus. I probably won't use the goggles in 2s, and I will in 3s, as long as I'm not the kill target in a majority of our games. So I'll be switching the helm around as I see fit. So because I have the goggles, the Merciless Gladiator's Fellweave Cowl will be one of my last purchases. Now, the Merciless Gladiator's Fellweave Cowl has like 10 more spell power and a bit more resil than the Dreadweave right here. So I gain a whole lot more spell power from the goggles versus the Dreadweave helmet you see here. But once I can purchase the Merciless Gladiator Fellweave Cowl, you're only gaining about 20 spell power, and I wouldn't say 20 spell power is worth trading for 33 resil. So eventually I'm going to be running this most of the time, but it will be one of my last purchases. So something to note here is that this is going to be your only Fellweave piece here, because of the extra stat it has compared to the Dreadweave. Every other main piece you're going to have is going to be Dreadweave in order to achieve your 4-set bonus. Now, belt. The next thing here we've got to talk about is the engineering belt. I'm going to prefer to wear the Veteran's Dreadweave belt personally for the extra spell power and the resil, but if I'm consistently the target in 3s or 5s, I'll probably keep the engineering belt on. I prefer playing roguelike as far as 2s go, and so I'll be keeping the engineering belt on 100% of the time for that. The engineering belt is insane if you're playing double DPS. Now, next thing I want to talk about here is your offhand and your weapon. It's really the last two things I got to talk about here. You'll be changing your wand and your offhand every single match. So first things first here is you got to get yourself a Skull of Impending Doom. Now, I use mine in the beginning of every match to guarantee I don't get sapped. It basically hits you for 12.5% of your health every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. So the idea is that if you get sapped, it'll break you out of sap because you're taking damage. And you'll have enough time to grab combat after, then switch your offhand to stop taking damage. Generally, you'll get hit once or twice by it. You're going to lose 12.5 to 25% of your health, and then you're going to switch offhands once you have combat to guarantee the rogue won't be CCing you. Now, you're also probably going to have Druid Hots on you, or you're going to have a Priest Renew on to you, so that 25% might be a whole lot less. You're going to have Hots taken on you. Now, keep in mind, you're going to want to take off your Voidwalker Sacrifice bubble or take off your Priest bubble in order to take damage to break the sap. So I'll leave a macro below that for the macro I use personally that goes hand in hand with the Skull of Doom offhand. Also, something here I want to talk about is your wand slot. You keep your Master Spellstone on most of the time when you're starting games. But put on your wand for the extra resil or spell power after you use it. I'll equip my wand immediately if I'm versing a turbo cleave, a thug cleave, or a double healer cleave because I don't need to dispel myself. If you didn't purchase the Gladiator Touch of Defeat wand in Season 1, go grab yourself a 25 Shadow spell power wand off the auction house. It'll last you a while. One of the very last arena pieces you're going to buy in Season 2 will probably be your wand. So this green wand that you can purchase off the auction house is going to last you a good bit. Now, I've seen Warlocks be lazy about not switching the offhand when they don't need it, and they'll keep their skull on. I've seen Warlocks just keep their spellstone on all the time, and they're cheating themselves out of almost 75 spell power if they're keeping their skull on, they're keeping their spellstone on. You're cheating yourself out of 75 total spell power on some games, which adds up. Now, so I've showed you the best in slot sheet here. I think the last thing to talk about here is this particular ring. Now you gain about 2.5% armor from this ring. It's very comparable to other rings, and I think the real big thing here is that you have 295 armor, so that's almost 2.5 or 2% physical damage reduction, and it also helps your pet be more tankier as well. Now, this might be hard for you to get, so I think the spell, if you can get your hands on a PvE, ring, that can probably do you just as good. Or if you just want to use the blue ring or the seal ring from the Cenarian rep, then feel free to use that. But I'd say this is best in slot right here, just to be more tankier. So I've showed you the best in slot sheet here. I've talked to you about switching gear pieces around for your matches. The last thing I can talk to you about here is what I'm personally doing gear-wise in the beginning of Season 2. I'll be purchasing all of my off pieces on day 1 and crafting myself the brand new engineering goggles. So this is what my tune will look like here. My first purchase will probably be the Merciless Gladiator Spellblade, because it's a 22 spell power and 18 resil upgrade from the Neth Mindblade. And that's the biggest upgrade stat-wise I can get on any of my pieces. Unless I get the Fang of Levithian from SSC to drop before then, that's what I'm planning to do. And as far as what you spend your arena points on first really matters on what your gear is. So I sort of wanted to give you, I sort of wanted to tell you what I was doing and the reasoning behind my first purchase to hopefully help you. And so I hope this video benefits you. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys hopefully on the stream. Peace.